The EU has softened its rhetoric towards Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orbán in order to avoid accusations of interfering in the country's upcoming parliamentary elections. This was reported by the Financial Times, citing sources in Brussels. According to the publication, European institutions fear that excessively harsh criticism could play into Orbán's hands and strengthen his anti-European campaign, since the Hungarian Prime Minister has for many years accused Brussels of exerting political pressure on Budapest and attempting to limit the country's sovereignty. Financial Times sources note that the European Commission does not rule out the possibility of allocating an additional 200,400 million euros to Hungary, despite previous concerns about the state of the rule of law in the Republic. Earlier, due to these disagreements, part of the European funds for Budapest was frozen. Parliamentary elections in Hungary are scheduled for April 12th. According to the latest sociological polls, the opposition party TISA is ahead of the ruling Fidesz party, which is led by Viktor Orbán. Earlier, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky publicly criticized the Hungarian Prime Minister, stating that thanks to Ukraine's resistance, Orbán can think about his own well-being instead of building up the military.
It is the Ukrainians who are holding the European front. Behind our people stand an independent Poland and free Baltic states. There can be a sovereign Moldova and a Romania without dictatorship. And even a certain Viktor can think about growing his belly rather than building up his army, so as not to allow Russian tanks to return to the streets of Budapest.
Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orbán responded to President Volodymyr Zelensky's statement.
Thank you for yet another campaign speech in support of Ukraine's accession to the European Union. However, I must point out that there is something you misunderstand. These debates are not about me or about you. They concern the future of Hungary, Ukraine, and Europe. That is precisely why you cannot become a member of the European Union.
Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orbán has on numerous occasions made highly critical, harsh and cynical statements about the nation of Ukraine. He has claimed that Ukrainian troops could allegedly pose a threat to Hungary. According to him, strengthening the armed forces of Ukraine could lead to increasingly capable Ukrainian units, supposedly ending up at the country's eastern borders.
This is not up for discussion. Hungary will absolutely not finance, arm, or in any way legitimize a threat to its own national security.
Earlier, during a public speech, the Hungarian Prime Minister went even further in radicalizing his rhetoric, calling Ukraine an enemy of his country. At the same time, he complained that Kyiv is urging Brussels to deprive Budapest of access to cheap Russian energy. Viktor Orbán also criticized the EU's decision to grant Ukraine a €90 billion loan and stated that he does not understand who attacked whom in the war between Ukraine and the Russian Federation. Last year, the Security Service of Ukraine announced the exposure of an agent network connected to Hungarian military intelligence. According to the SBU, this involved espionage activities detrimental to Ukraine.